Hello and welcome to Scholesy Talks Wrestling. Oh darn, got a few crackers to talk about this week. I'm a toy guy, you all know that I'm a toy guy. I love collecting Bendums, Bendies, Retros, Hasbros, Epic Toys, whatever in that sense. I only collect what I like and what I have a specific passion for. But this week, I'm going to start with something a bit fun, a little bit interesting. There is a guy called Junk Shop Dog. I've followed him for absolutely years. I have never bought one of his action figures, though. I've never been able to quite pull the trigger. He's done great figures like the Road Warriors. He's done Terry Funk. He's done Davey Boy. He's done Dynamite Kid. He's got a Matt Cardona coming out soon. He's done Agent Kong, which I was very close to grabbing. Okay, a Tiger Mask, again, very close to grabbing. And do you know what? I probably will try to grab Tiger Mask at least, even if it is on the secondary market. But last night, or a few days ago, or whenever it was, he had some big news. And I kind of feel like this is small toy business owner gets big opportunity. That's kind of how it feels like for me in a lot of ways. We live in the world of independent toy makers currently, within the wrestling sector anyway, particularly. And I think this is so exciting. So, Junk Shop Dog has got a deal with WWE to use Hulk Hogan's likeness for the 80s, 90s sort of Japan movement he did. And I think this is important because I think this is a lesson for everybody in the independent toy industry. If you've got a good product and you want to use a WWE wrestler, okay, or an AEW wrestler when it comes down to it, all right, and it's something unique or original, I think they're going to jump on top of it. I think independent toy makers have opportunities like this, and Junk Shop Dog is a prime example. His figures, I believe the arms move up and down, or I might be wrong. They're kind of sort of like more statuey in a sense of there's not much articulation, but they are pretty, they are retro, and they're gorgeous to look at it. And I'm buzzed for this guy, literally buzzed for this guy. And I'm not going to lie, I'm probably going to grab a Tiger Mask. I love the anime. I love them as a wrestler. So yeah, this is how we start the show. Big news, exciting toy news. The industry is moving forward. And I kind of feel like Matt Cardona hinted at this a few weeks back on the major podcast network. I honestly think the wrestling community is one of the most toxic environments in pop culture. Top three at least. I always say the Star Wars nerds are the worst. And then Dragon Ball Z are definitely second. And then it's the wrestling community. So, Ronda Rousey. Let's talk Ronda Rousey. All right. I want to give you some fun facts about her first of all. She's a Pan-American Judo champ. Two-time Pan-American Championship winner. She is a bronze medal Olympic winner. Okay. She's a UFC Hall of Fame. She had, I believe, seven successful title defenses as UFC champion. She was a Strikeforce champion. She was a WWE Raw champion, a WWE SmackDown champion. She was the WWE Tag Team champion. 2018 PWI ranked #1 female wrestler. Her greatest moment, for me personally, was when she beat Nikki Bella Evolution, man. Now, she's not in WWE anymore, we know this, and so some supposable wrestling fans, okay, have been criticising her because she appeared on Raw, Ring of Honor. And I like Ring of Honor. I'm like an old school guy, love Ring of Honor with a passion. And it's kind of become the NXT development show of AEW, and they're like, oh, she's on a development show, okay, why is she signing in? She's awful, blah, 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 blah. And a lot of these people also didn't know that she was on Wrestling Revolver, Sami Callihan's promotion, the night before. And I'm going to tell you this now, where I think Ronda can be messy in the ring. Very, very messy in the ring. And at times she was remarkable, beautiful, and it was an artistic element. I remember her fighting Bliss, and it was great what she did in that match, every single moment of it. She isn't great on the mic, all right? I enjoyed her tag team sort of run with Blazer, all right? She isn't the cleanest cut in that say. She isn't, let's just say, a Charlotte Flair. All right. I'm not going to sit here and say she is, but she deserves a lot more love than the stupid wrestling fans are giving her. All right. And I watched her in the Wrestling Revolver event, Sami Callihan's promotion. And do you know what? She was in a absolutely brilliant match with Maria, with one of her close friends, Billy Stark and Athena tag team match. And the match was brilliant. If I am going to bring in somebody like Ronda Rousey, I'm going to tell you this honestly. All right, if I'm going to bring Ronda Rousey in to my indie promotion, I'm going to want her to be with some of the most talented wrestlers I possibly can put in. She was the main event. She was after the Jon Moxley fight, so she was the big draw for this. And I'm going to tell you this now. This tag team match was probably one of the best women's matches that no one's going to speak about, okay, of the year. And I want to tell you why. Athena, for me, all right, along with Deonna Purrazzo, Trinity, people like that, is probably the top talent in professional wrestling. She has held that Ring of Honor title for so long. She has kept the standard of a Ring of Honor where people, I personally would pay the $9.99 to watch Ring of Honor to watch her. Okay. And if you are going to put Ronda in a ring, in her indie kind of debut, right, you are going to put her in with people like Athena, Billy Starks, and Maria. She knows Maria, so she can work with her well. Okay, Athena is a good pair of hands. She is rough. She is beastie. She is beast mode. She loves herself. Ronda in this match, the moment she came to the ring, first of all, she was in with Billy Starks. She did some absolutely brilliant judo sort of like throws. She went into trying to do the armbar. We saw some great Pacific moments towards the end of the match when all four of them were in the ring. We saw an absolutely insane, I'm going to say this, insane sort of like suplex move. We saw a hip toss. That was great as well by Ronda. Ronda looked cleaner in this match working with these Pacific wrestlers than she ever did in her WWE career. She had the ability to move forward. But I will say a few things on top of that. Well, I can see her going to AEW and working fine. I could see her going to AEW and working people like Britt Baker absolutely brilliantly. I could see her going to Ring of Honor and working specifically with Athena incredibly for that Ring of Honor title, and it would bring people in as an interest. I think all you wrestling fans need to get off your high horse for 5 minutes and actually reconsider that this is a reboot for Ronda. And I think the Wrestling Revolver match was a prime example. I have not seen the Ring of Honor match, so I don't know what it's like. So anybody that's seen the Ring of Honor match might say, look, she had an awful night when she went in. But I think you fans, us fans, the community, need to get our backs off Ronda. Because that Wrestling Revolver match showed that she has the ability if she's in the ring with the right people. Right? And if she's in the ring with the right people, to be a draw, to be a push, okay, she will develop. She will develop. The problem is with the WWE locker room, there were so many personalities at that particular time period, okay, that were just being bitches fundamentally. They didn't know what to do with her. The only person that I really think that gave a crap about what she did as a wrestler was Natalya Neidhart, and probably Shayna Baszler. But I think this is a great move for Ronda. If Ronda signs for AEW and signs for Ring of Honor, great signing. I think Tony Khan has probably got the ability to move her forward. I think if she works with guys like Jerry Lynn, Pat Buck and stuff like that, I think they grow her character more as well in that element. I think even if you put her in a tag team with Maria as a permanent concept, I think that'd be great. I think if you worked with Billy Starks or worked with Athena quite a lot, it'd be great. I think she could work with Ruby Riott. I think she could work with the whole entire cast, the whole entire roster. So I think this is a positive move for Ring of Honor, AEW, and if you want a great example of Ronda Rousey actually coming back, looking clean cut, looking great, right, watch Wrestling Revolver, unreal, absolutely fantastic. Now, time for the last bit of what I will be talking about today is NWA, man. It's NWA. Again, NWA is one of them shows that I generally love. I love the product, or loved the product. I'm not going to stop watching it. in a lot of ways. And I think recently, in the last couple of weeks, there's been a lot of news on it. Now, what made me fall in love with NWA particularly, or this new sort of like era at NWA, was people like Nick Aldis. And if you know me, I've got loads of Nick Aldis, Sheller Toys, Epic Toys, whatever you want to call them. Big fan of Nick Aldis, what he did with Impact Wrestling, what he did on the indie scene in the UK, what he did with Gladiators, what he did with Ultimate sort of Strongman. I'm so glad that he is now a general manager in WWE, because I think that will help WWE, because Aldis is a great spokesman in a lot of ways. He was that NWA spokesman that pushed that product forward, and I always thought Billy Corgan was a smart man doing that, bringing in characters that are bigger in popular culture in a lot of ways. And I think Nick Aldis going against Cody Rhodes did a hell of a lot for NWA in this new era, and I think Nick Aldis, being a former TNA Impact heavyweight champion, was a great example for it. And then first 2 seasons were unreal. The stuff that he did with Tim Storm just before that, and the stuff what he did with Trevor Murdoch, unreal stuff. And when the British Invasion came in, that was a kind of a cool thing. Stuff thing with Tom Lawler and Camille, great stuff. But sorry there. But there's a big but there. Things went a little bit stale a little while ago. We saw Matt Cardona come in, and it was a clever move. Bringing a businessman in, a guy that's very good at social media, a guy that's a good spokesman, a guy that can push it forward. And that didn't really work out because Cardona got injured, and we had Trevor Murdoch, wasn't a great champion. And then we had Tyrus. Now, Tyrus is an interesting one for me. So as a Brit, I don't get Fox TV, so I don't even know what Fox TV fundamentally is. And Tyrus, I felt was a move by Billy because he was on Fox TV. And I thought it was a clever move. But till later on, I didn't really understand what Fox TV was about. It's more sort of like a right-leaning product in the sense of American, from a political stance in America. And it offends a lot of people. So Tyrus literally, no word of a lie, brought in fans from a different side of things, that more sort of like Republican concept of a fan. Or that's what people felt anyway. Now, from what I saw on the internet, I thought it was a good business plan. Bring in a guy that's on a news channel every single night to whack out that TV title, whack out that NW title. But it actually fundamentally pissed off a lot of community people. And there's a hypocrisy with this as well, because Tyrus was the champion. He wasn't a great champion. He was great on the mic. That was about it, really. And I think as soon as Tyrus walked out the door, I don't know if Billy Corgan thought in his head, look, I need to take a different direction back. So we get in the last couple of weeks, we get out a previous pay-per-view that Mitchell and loads of wrestlers are snorting coke around the back, or pretending to snort coke around the back, and that lost them a TV deal. That was a really, really poor creative choice. Which, if you think of the big products, I don't even think AEW would do that. And AEW goes very close to doing peculiar things. And it was a very bad choice by Billy in a lot of ways. And then this week, we also have Effie talking about how NWA Billy wanted Effie to come and work in NWA. Effie is a gay wrestler. He's absolutely great on GCW. He makes me smile. I love his whole entire ring attire. I'm going to even get one of my probably favourite figs. Oh God, I'm knocking everything over. One of my favourite figs in a long while. The Effie Bendy. And he offers a lot for I think the wrestling community, and he makes me smile. I love how salty he is. I love everything that he can do. I love that he's working with Ali Catch, and Ali Catch is a highly talented wrestler himself. And Effie basically told him to fuck off. And the reason why is because his logic is you can't have your cake and eat it. You can't have somebody that promotes hate speech, promotes non-equality in the format of a larger picture, and then want me. Okay, so you can't have your cake and eat it. So Billy Corgan has made a lot of mistakes a lot of mistakes in the last couple of months. And I think somebody like Effie, imagine Effie as the NWA champion. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely freaking brilliant. Imagine Addy Catch there as well. Absolutely brilliant. It would have been a fantastic thing, but he's buggered himself over. And when it comes down to it, Effie doesn't need NWA. He's such a legend in the wrestling community already. Okay, GCW, man. All the indies he works. His Big Gay Bash, love it. Love it. Love it. All right. And I think Billy and NWA, it's become sour and bitter what the product has become. I want to love it. I don't like their new setup. I think it's horrific. I love their old school retro setup. I think the best thing about the product currently is Kenzie Page, which I think if I was Kenzie and her sister and their little posse, I would jump ship to another product ASAP, because I think NWA might be on a sinking ship in that sense. I don't want it to be, because I'm not going to lie, the most beautiful belt in professional wrestling is that NWA belt. But Billy's got a lot of cycling backwards to get the product back to where it was, and the product was a very good product. Season 1, Season 2 of NWA in particular. Even my wife loved it, and my wife only enjoys WWE. So, yeah, I think NWA needs to sort themselves out in that element. I don't want the promotion to go down the pan, but they've got a lot of cycling. That Tyrus, it seems like that Tyrus reign of the title has caused a lot of damage. Not just from what Effie said, but from what other people said. It sounds like Billy Corgan, his tours with Smashing Pumpkins, love Smashing Pumpkins in that sense, is not particularly helping. So there is no creative director there currently, it seems. So yeah, there's a lot to do. There's a lot to get back on course. And you know what? I mean, I'm for EC3 in a lot of ways, and I know EC3's just given us a War and Peace documentation defending the NWA, but I think they need to bring a creative in. But I hold that viewpoint with AEW as well. They need to bring a creative into AEW. But look, man, I'm just a fan. I'm just a fan, just talking. But yeah, this is Scholesy Talks.